The thunder rolled across the evening sky as Robert Wells pulled his worn sedan into the gravel driveway of his small cottage. At 39, he had grown accustomed to the simple rhythms of their life. Working at the local auto parts store, by day, fixing neighbors' lawnmowers and small engines in his garage by evening, all to provide for his 10-year-old daughter, Lily. 4 years had passed since his wife, Amanda, died from cancer. 4 years of learning to navigate bedtime stories, school projects, and the thousand small moments. 0 hours 0 minutes and 32 seconds to 0 hours 1 minute and 32 seconds. That make up a childhood. The medical bills had taken most of their savings. But Robert had discovered something profound in their struggle. That happiness didn't require abundance, only love and gratitude for what remained. As he reached the front porch, the rain began in earnest, and he noticed a figure huddled beneath the old oak tree in his front yard. A young woman, perhaps in her mid-20s, was pressed against the trunk, trying to shield herself from the downpour with what appeared to be a denim jacket. Miss. 0 hours 1 minute and 3 seconds to 0 hours 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Robert called out, his voice gentle but concerned. Are you all right out there? She looked up, startled, her dark blonde hair plastered against her face. Even in the dim porch light, he could see she was shivering. I'm sorry, she called back over the rain. I don't mean to trespass. My phone died and I was trying to find shelter until this passes. Without hesitation, Robert stepped off the porch. You can't stay out here in this storm. Come on inside where it's warm. The young woman, 0 hours 1 minute and 33 seconds to 0 hours 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Hesitated, clearly uncomfortable with accepting help from a stranger. I don't want to impose on your family. It's just me and my daughter, Robert said, already getting soaked himself. And she'd never forgive me if I left someone standing in the rain. As they hurried toward the house, Lily appeared at the front door, her red hair in pigtails and their small terrier Max yapping excitedly at her feet. Dad, is everything okay? Lily asked, her brown eyes wide with concern. This lady got 0 hours 2 minutes and 5 seconds to 0 hours 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Caught in the storm, Robert explained as they stepped inside. She needs a place to dry off. I'm Jessica, the young woman said softly, wrapping her arms around herself. Jessica Morgan, I'm so sorry to bother you both. Lily's face immediately lit up with the kind of pure compassion that children possess. You're freezing, Dad. She needs some hot chocolate and maybe Mom's fuzzy slippers. Robert felt that familiar, banging at the mention of Amanda, but 0 hours 2 minutes and 36 seconds to 0 hours 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Also warmth at his daughter's instinctive kindness. Lily's right, let me get you some dry clothes and we'll get you warmed up. He found some of Amanda's clothes that still hung in the closet, a soft gray sweater and comfortable pants that would fit Jessica well enough. While she changed in the bathroom, Robert put on a pot of his grandmother's vegetable stew that had been simmering in the crockpot, and Lily arranged cushions on the couch. Is she running away from something? 0 hours 3 minutes and 4 seconds to 0 hours 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Bad, Lily whispered to her father as they prepared an extra bowl. Robert paused, remembering his own difficult times. Sometimes people just need time to figure things out, sweetheart. Our job is just to be kind. When Jessica emerged, she looked younger and more vulnerable in Amanda's clothes. Lily immediately handed her a steaming mug of hot chocolate topped with marshmallows. This is my special recipe, Lily announced proudly. I put extra marshmallows because Dad says they help heal sad hearts. Jessica's eyes filled. 0 hours 3 minutes and 38 seconds to 0 hours 4 minutes and 40 seconds. With tears. Thank you, Lily. You're very thoughtful. Over dinner, Jessica slowly began to share her story. She spoke of growing up with expectations she couldn't meet, of disappointing people who believed in her, of feeling lost in a world that seemed to value only success and achievement. You know, Robert said quietly, ladling more stew into her bowl. I used to think success meant having all the answers. Then life taught me that sometimes the most important thing is just being willing to. 0 hours 4 minutes and 8 seconds to 0 hours 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Ask the right questions. What kind of questions? Jessica asked. Lily piped up before her father could answer. Like, how can I help? And what do people really need? Dad taught me that those are the best questions. Jessica smiled through her tears. You're both very wise. We learned it the hard way, Robert said gently. When my wife was sick, we discovered that the people who matter most aren't the ones who have everything figured out. They're the ones who show up anyway. After dinner, Jessica helped Lily with 0 hours 4 minutes and 42 seconds to 0 hours 5 minutes and 52 seconds. Her reading homework. While Robert cleaned up, he watched them from the kitchen. This stranger who had appeared in their storm, now sitting cross-legged on their living room floor, patiently helping his daughter sound out difficult words. Later, after Lily had gone to bed, Robert and Jessica sat at his small kitchen table, sharing coffee and quiet conversation. "I need to tell you something," Jessica said, her voice barely above a whisper. "My father is William Morgan Financial Group." Robert recognized the name. The 0 hours 5 minutes and 17 seconds to 0 hours 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Company managed investments for half the businesses in their region and owned several local banks. "I've been trying to prove I could make it without his help," Jessica continued. "I wanted to show him and everyone else that I was more than just his daughter, but I've made such a mess of things. I hurt people who were trying to help me. Made decisions based on pride instead of wisdom." Robert nodded slowly. "Pride can be a lonely companion. The worst part is," Jessica said, her voice breaking, "I've spent 0 hours 5 minutes and 49 seconds to 0 hours 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Much time trying to prove I didn't need anyone. That I forgot how to let people care about me. You and Lily, you've shown me what real kindness looks like. Kindness isn't about what we can afford to give," Robert said, softly. "It's about recognizing that we all need the same things: acceptance, understanding, and a place to belong." The next morning brought sunshine and clear skies. Robert had already called his friend Danny, who ran the local towing service, to help with Jessica's car situation. While they 0 hours 6 minutes and 24 seconds to 0 hours 7 minutes and 24 seconds. Waited, Lily showed Jessica her collection of painted rocks that she kept in a jar by her bedroom window. "I paint one whenever something good happens," Lily explained. "Like when Dad gets a day off, or when Max learns a new trick, or when we help someone who needs it." She carefully selected a small stone painted with a bright yellow sun and pressed it into Jessica's palm. "This one's for you because you brought sunshine to our rainy day." When Danny arrived with his tow truck, he was followed by a silver 0 hours 6 minutes and 55 seconds to 0 hours 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Luxury car. A distinguished man in his 50s stepped out. William Morgan, looking both worried and hopeful. The reunion between father and daughter was tearful and honest. Jessica explained how Robert and Lily had opened their home and hearts to her, showing her what generosity truly meant. Before they left, William Morgan approached Robert privately. "My daughter tells me you work very hard to provide for your family." "We do all right," Robert said simply. "I'd like to help," William said, offering 0 hours 7 minutes and 29 seconds to 0 hours 8 minutes and 34 seconds. Robert, an envelope. "Jessica said you wouldn't accept payment for your hospitality. But please, as one father to another, let me contribute to Lily's future." Robert hesitated, but William pressed gently. "Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is allowing others to give back." That evening, Robert opened the envelope to find enough money to secure Lily's education and provide the stability he'd been working so hard to achieve. But the real treasure was the ongoing friendship that grew from that stormy night. 0 hours 8 minutes and 1 second to 0 hours 9 minutes and 2 seconds. Jessica visited often, bringing books for Lily and stories of her new role, helping her father's company support local families and small businesses. Years later, when Lily was preparing for college on a scholarship partially funded by the Morgan Foundation, she would still keep that painted rock collection on her windowsill. Each stone reminded her of the lesson learned that rainy night, that the most beautiful moments in life often come from the simplest acts of human kindness. And Robert learned that 0 hours 8 minutes and 32 seconds to 0 hours 9 minutes and 14 seconds. Sometimes the greatest gifts aren't the ones we receive, but the ones we give when we think we have nothing left to offer. In opening his door to a stranger, he had opened his heart to the possibility that love multiplies when it's shared, and that true wealth is measured not in what we possess, but in how generously we're willing to give it away.